We're back on the Daily Drop. Okay, so Zach, it's interesting because you really live this sort of like really interesting life. I mean, in a way, you actually are a celebrity, but you also have relationships with celebrities, people like Jake Paul, Floyd Mayweather, Jadakiss. How did you get into this celebrity space?
Yeah, and I think I grew up around Floyd, right? For an example, I mean, I grew up in the boxing world. Growing up, my dad had a boxing gym, and a lot of young up and coming champions came through there, from your Terrence Crawfords, your Teofimo Lopez's, etc. But I think in the sort of influencer realm, I would say when I was about 17, Milton, who's currently coaching Logan Paul, brought me into camp with Logan and brought me around Jake and Logan, and I got to kind of get a unique insight into their boxing lives, and I was interested in getting attached to them and asking for money or anything like that. I was really interested in being a part of their boxing journey. And through that, I got to interview them and then kind of get exposed to a whole different world, made some videos, stuff like that. So I would say that's how the initial breakthrough into the influence world started. And then my partner, Jadakiss, got introduced to me. We were both on the Triller Versus. We were both part of the broadcast. So I think he saw that. And then someone told me about him. And then it was his idea to do a sports show. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, okay, so speaking of Jadakiss, you interview sports celebrities on a podcast with Jadakiss, right? So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about what you guys do on the podcast. How exactly did that happen? Because it's one thing to like meet somebody or know somebody, but it's another thing to go into business with them and launch a podcast with them.
Yeah, so the podcast is called Kiss in the Mist, and it's presented by World Star and brought to you by betonline.ag. And yeah, Jada is my partner, and we've been able to do some great things. And we also just spoke at a crypto convention together about Mozverse. So yeah, we're really partners in a lot of different business ventures. And yeah, it's a fantastic relationship, and we're really able to bounce off each other and have a great chemistry on camera. And we've interviewed a variety of celebrities from French Montana to Tyreek Hill to Antonio Brown to Brandon Marshall, a wide variety for sure.
Do you have like a particular focus? Like, is it like football, boxing, basketball, or all across the board?
Well, the great thing about Jadakiss, and people know this about me, right? I'm an expert in pretty much every sport, but so is Jada. You know, Jada is a big fan of a lot of different sports, so we've been able to cover a lot of different ones. We want to keep expanding, right? So far, it's been mostly football, basketball, mixed martial arts, boxing, but I would love to do a tennis interview, you know? I think that would be sick, or a WWE interview or something like that. So yeah, I think the main focus of the podcast is sports, culture, and hip hop.
Okay, so what is your end game then for this podcast, right? Is it more just you're just trying to grow it? Do you see it turning into like a television show, or like what's your vision for it?
Yeah, I think it can go in so many different directions, right? I could see it being on Showtime and being like a similar show to The Shop, or I could see it being a staple for a barstool type show, where we keep expanding on World Star and really seep into the landscape of both hip hop and sports, right? But I think long term, the goal is to get the biggest and best guests and be a place where athletes, influencers, and musicians feel comfortable expressing themselves and feel like it's a space where they can be themselves and really talk like they would with their friends, right? We're a very laid back podcast. We're not asking super hard hitting questions, right? We're really trying to have a real conversation.
It's interesting because you really do see this sort of merging of celebrity culture and Web3 culture coming together for this larger ecosystem. How do they work together? We talked about it a bit before, but do you think it's just becoming one big sort of like celebrity culture and influencers are the next generation of celebrities and people are like, hey, welcome?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I wouldn't even say the next, I'd say they already are, right? I mean, the TikTok invasion is a little bit over, but for a while, those were the biggest celebrities on the planet. It seemed like they were everywhere. They were used for every promotional tool, right? You turn on the Super Bowl and Ninja is in the Super Bowl commercial. It's crazy. So I think that they already are the current generation of celebrities, and it's going to keep expanding, expanding, expanding.
It's interesting. We were talking before a little bit about tension, but I guess for me, it's just sort of interesting, right? Like, do you find that like normal audience members or people listening to your podcast or whatever, are they like more like, oh my God, it's Jadakiss, and then there's you, or is it like you're the draw and then he, or is it just kind of depends on the person?
I would say that Jada is the bigger draw of the two. I would say my role is to keep the conversation flowing and make sure that, you know, the person that we're doing with is engaged and to bring my vast sports knowledge. But I'd say my partner Kiss is bringing in most of the people. That's my guy.
Yeah, and then you've moved, you're a co-founder of Mozverse, And I want to know more about that. We're going to get into that after the break. We'll do more of a deep dive, but pretty interesting that you're really making big moves too into the business space as well.